The cabin holds its breath. Blue-green panel lights skim the ceiling, a hush of pressurized air pouring over Rose like a steady tide. Elena Ramirez cradles her daughter, Lily, 4, whose warm cheek rests in the notch of her mother's shoulder. Denver is already far below. Newark is 4 hours of darkness away. "Mommy, cold," Lily murmurs into sleep. Elena pulls the thin airline blanket higher, smelling the faint, plasticky sweetness of it, a smell that clings to airports and new shoes. She counts what she has left, 3 crumpled hundreds, a single with a coffee stain, coins that mean nothing against hospital debt. A whisper leans close, breath rimmed with liquor. Kids out like a light. The hand descends, heavy, possessive. It lands on her shoulder and stays. Her body answers before her mind does, spine tight, breath shallow. A tiny turn, enough to slip from the grip without waking Lily. The hand follows, fingertips creeping toward the delicate ladder of nerves at her neck. She places her own fingers over his, polite at first, firm heartbeat later, and peels them off. "Please don't," she says, barely above the engine's hum. From the aisle seat beside her, the man in the gray suit sits unmoving. He has the posture of a statue and the quiet of a church after midnight. No screen, no book. Only a signet ring, thick old gold, turning slowly beneath his thumb. The touch returns, bolder now. Squeeze. Slide. Elena's throat tightens. If she calls for help, Lily will startle awake in panic. If she swallows this, permission is granted forever. Her heart hammers in the soft cage of the blanket. She tries once more, lifts the hand, sets it back over the armrest. It lands again. "Remove your hand," the man in gray says. Not loud, not asking. The fingers on Elena's skin pause, then resume as if to test a boundary drawn in chalk. "Easy, boss," the voice behind her purls, amused and mean. She doesn't seem to mind, and you don't own the aisle. A hard tap cracks the hush, the ring meeting seat plastic, a single strike as clean as a metronome. "You will let go," the man says, eyes still forward. "Now." What moves next is not the air, but the idea of consequence. The hand withdraws, sudden as heat leaving a room. A mutter, a curse, the wet sound of someone swallowing pride with bourbon. Elena turns, gratitude rising. The man raises one finger, not rude, not cruel, just a boundary in a different shape. Later, it says, or maybe never. He resumes spinning the ring, slow, deliberate, as if measuring patience by weight. The plane keeps on. Elena feels with hummingbird clarity that she is seated between a predator and something larger than a predator, between hunger and command. She holds Lily closer and counts the breaths to morning. The only sound that lingers is that single, impossible tap. When the landing gear thunks and the cabin brightens, everything ordinary returns at once. Seatbelts snap, bins click open, bodies stand and stretch. The night is the same hour as before, but more unforgiving. Newark glows with a tired halo. Elena wrestles the stroller from the overhead while Lily clings like ivy. The aisle fills and stalls. The man in gray rises last, giving space without ceremony. She feels absurdly that he reduces the chaos by existing, like a low center of gravity in bad weather. At the door, the man from behind waits. Polo shirt, watch that wants to be seen, smile that has no warmth. His eyes slide over Elena the way buyers appraise square footage. He flicks a card between 2 fingers. "Chad Bishop, Senior Vice President, Acquisitions." Loud enough to carry. "About that little misunderstanding, I'm a helpful guy in this city. If you find you need help." He doesn't hand the card to her so much as press it into her palm and close her fingers over it, his thumb staying a moment longer than it should. He glances at the gray suit in the aisle as if tossing a pebble at a window. Elena tucks the card away, because not taking it will make this take longer. Her stomach pools cold. She doesn't look at the man beside her. The man doesn't look at her. The ring turns. Newark's air is damp and metallic at 1 in the morning. The moving walkway hums underfoot, a conveyor for the sleepless. Chad paces a phone call a few gates down, voice clipped and confident, eyes cutting toward Elena as if she were an address on a map. Lily begins to cry, the cry that belongs to tired children and women who cannot afford to. Elena keeps moving. The man in gray disappears into the river of travelers as if swallowed by it. Relief and dread braid together in her chest. It should be over because people are around. It isn't. Baggage claim is a circle of ritual and small prayers. The belt starts with a groan. Suitcases blink into view, wet with some other journey's weather. Elena lifts the stroller with one hand, reaches for the suitcase with the other. Lily's bracelet, a cheap strand of turquoise beads with an impossible value, catches the stroller latch, snags and snaps. Beads pelt the tile, little moons rolling everywhere. The sound undoes her. Not the harassment, not the airport. The beads. She crouches. Her knees shake. The floor is cold through her jeans. The bracelet is from a hospital gift shop in Denver, paid for with quarters while her husband learned to stop hurting for minutes at a time. Elena gathers what she can, beads skittering away from her open, shaking hand. Lily kneels and helps, tiny fingers herding color. Across the carousel, Chad tilts his head to better enjoy the show of someone breaking. His grin is the private kind meant for no one's comfort. He speaks into his phone, fast and quiet, eyes coming back to her between sentences like a habit he doesn't intend to quit. Elena stops chasing beads. Some losses are attacks, she thinks. You can't itemize grief. She presses what she has into Lily's palm. We'll fix it, she lies, carefully hopeful. I promise. The belt coughs up their suitcase. She drags it off with a grunt that feels like the word enough. When she straightens, a black-suited man stands so close she sees the stitch of his lapel. He carries himself with the politeness of someone trained to disappear. Miss Ramirez, he says, Mr. Veroni asked me to see you and your daughter home safely. This way, please. The name doesn't mean anything to her. The ask does. Chad is no longer by the phone. He is nowhere. Elena's first instinct is to refuse. Pride, fear, the arithmetic of owing. The second instinct is her daughter's weight. Her daughter's yawn, her daughter's bracelet cupped like a fragile egg in her small hand. What's your name? Elena asks. Marco, he says with the faintest trace of a city she doesn't know. It's raining. It isn't raining, not yet. But the air tastes like wet copper. Elena looks toward the sliding doors and sees their reflection. Mother and child, a stroller with a limp strap, a suitcase that has seen better sidewalks. She chooses. Okay, she says. Marco takes the suitcase. He doesn't hurry them. Outside, the sedan is black and ordinary to anyone not trained to notice the quality of its quiet. The rear door opens. Inside, the man in gray sits with his face turned to the slick window as if he's listening to the weather come in. Get in, he says. The hour's unfriendly. Lily climbs first, serious with the adventure of it. Elena hesitates one breath longer than pride will allow, then slides in and shuts the world away with a click. That sounds like a new kind of trouble. Newark recedes, the highway unspools, sodium lamps strobing along the glass like a slow heartbeat. The sedan drifts north, then east, until the skyline becomes trees and walls. Gates open without being asked to, and the driveway is long enough to cool anger. The house at the end isn't a house. It's a certainty built out of stone and light. Not garish, not warm. A place that tells the weather where to go. Your daughter needs sleep, the man says. You'll take the guest suite. Elena hates how fast relief sits down next to her fear. We can't stay. You can for tonight. He says nothing more. Marco ghosts ahead with the bags. The foyer hush is a different kind of silence, the expensive kind. Elena smells lemon oil and wood older than anyone alive. A framed photograph, men in suits that previously belonged to other men, watches without moving. In the room that pretends it isn't a library, shelves glow under sconce light. The man finally looks at her. His eyes are the calm in the center of a storm that hasn't decided who to break. He places a folded square of silk on the table between them. When he opens it, turquoise winks back. Every bead that rolled away at the carousel, obedient now in a small blue constellation. I don't know how to. Her throat burns. Gratitude is a poor language when you don't trust it. I don't require thanks, he says. He turns the ring once, the metal soft against skin that has never had to reach for anything twice. I dislike rudeness. Bishop is weak, he hunts down. I intervened, now you owe me a favor. The word lands with the precision of a gavel. Favor. Not money, not kindness. Elena's mouth goes dry. There is a calculus here she cannot see, and it has her daughter's name buried somewhere inside it. What favor? When it's time, he says. You'll know, or I'll tell you. She stands on a floor worth more than her life and feels the cheap carpet of every apartment she has ever scraped rent for under her feet anyway. Lily sleeps in a room down the hall, her small, fierce breath lifting and falling. The beads gleam like a sky under glass. Who are you? Elena asks, though she already understands the answer matters less than what he can do with an hour of his day. He considers this as if it were a harmless question. Silas Verone, he says. It is offered without ornament, the way some people offer their right hand. Outside, rain finally begins. Soft at first, then more certain. It sounds like relief until it doesn't. Elena pockets the beads with care, each tiny sphere a proof that someone was watching carefully enough to put the world back in the shape it should have been. She does not thank him. She does not agree. She does not refuse. Some contracts sign themselves. Rain hushes against the wide windows. The house smells of coffee and old power, quiet, polished, expensive. Elena wakes to the low hum of a generator somewhere far away. Lily is curled under blankets softer than anything they've owned. She walks into the kitchen barefoot. Two men in black suits stand near the doorway, too still to be staff.